This was not a tear it down to the studs rebuild. And nobody from the organization...
Because they didn't really have the players to tear down the studs too. The team was young and bad. It had a couple older players, but not many.
Yeah, I mean, so even if you look at it right now, like you'd say, this is not a tear it down to the studs. Because if it were, you probably would have considered dealing Konechny. You would have dealt with Stalainen. You probably would have brought back Owen Tippett. But like those are just a couple of the guys. Bundy, I want to flip this to you, though, because if the idea is, hey, this was a bad situation, if like what Torts was saying is, this is about as low as it can get, it's not a great situation, young team, all that. There is still the fact that Tortorella raises your floor. You can't be a bottom-of-the-barrel team with Tortorella as your coach, which we've relitigated many times on the show. We're not going to get into whether or not long-term he's the guy, all that.
Yeah.
How do you kind of reconcile the saying to the public, this is about as low as it's going to be, but at the same time, he's able to get the most out of these players who, in fairness, many aren't probably significant contributors on very good hockey teams.
Well, that's what we've talked about. We said about Torts for 3 years now, since he's gotten here. He's going to take a team that's not as good and make it better. Mm-hmm. Here's the question. If, again, how do you play without John Tortorella's boot in your ass? Are guys playing out? And it's a fair question because there are reasons that players have peak performances. Pride. It could be a multitude of things. I could get into a ton of things. Their competitive spirit, like Anthony said, their talent, but it could also be fear. It could also be dealing with a coach that's totally up your ass the whole time, and you're like, I don't want to deal with this anymore. Like, I just want to go play hockey. And so that's part of also dealing with it. What does that player look like with a different coach?